everybody? Thanks for watching. Now, I wanted to touch on building success because to build wealth, you have to first build success. Success is the key. It is the path to wealth. And a lot of us, we have our own interpretation on what success is. You know, what may be successful to you may not be successful to other people. If you are a person who has set goals in life and you wanted to be somewhere and you made it to that point, then to you, you may be successful, and to others as well, you may be successful. But we all know we basically measure success in this society based upon, how much money you have. It's the difference between being rich, wealthy, and successful. And, people who classify as rich and wealthy, we say is successful people. But, it is not the same with each person, of course. Now, you can be successful in the sense that you have a good job, you're making good money, but, what do you own? What are your assets? How much money do you put out a month? How much money do you bring in? And success is really going to be measured in, if you lose your job, how long can you sustain yourself, or can you sustain yourself and sustain, your family and what have you? So success can be measured in a lot of different ways. And the problem with us in the Black community is we haven't really been taught, how to be really successful. We've been taught how to make money. We know how to make money. You can go out there, you know how to get a buck. Everybody got a little hustle. You can go work here, flip burgers there, sweep the floor, do dishes, or what have you, in different places to make money. But what about success? What do you have to do? And, a lot of us now, I'm starting to see with a lot more people, a lot of people are not really taking advantage of education. And this is just how I feel. I feel a lot of us are not really taking advantage of education and the fact that you have something out there like FAFSA, which I know they suck. A lot of people don't want to be in debt. A lot of people always say, FAFSA sucks and Pell Grants and all that sucks when they owe money, but not when they are in school and it's actually paying for their education. So you have to, if you get that opportunity to get the money from the government to actually go to college and to be in school, then you have to do something with that. So to me, the key first will be education, because in being successful, what do you want to be successful at? What do you want to do with your life? That's the first thing I ask a lot of people when we're talking about this subject, when we're on the subject of success. What do you want to do? Do you have a skill? Is it something that you do well, better than others? And, some people want to play sports. Some people want to be in the entertainment industry. Some people want to be in the fashion industry or what have you. And a lot of people have these really high goals, really high dreams that, they get the influence from, popular culture, from the media, television, and stuff like that. And a lot of people are not realistic in what they want to do in life. And not just that, they don't realize how hard it takes, how hard it is to get to those levels and to be those very few people who make it big in entertainment, fashion, and the whole world of popular culture that we see and that we are immersed in. So what ends up happening is a lot of people get to the point where they are not willing to do the hard work. They're not willing to put in the kind of effort it takes to be at the top. And, really, it begins with education. And if you don't have a skill, if you don't have something special that you do better than others, then you should get an education. You should get a degree in something so you can at least stand a chance. Now, some people are happy just working a 9-to-5, getting paid hourly, not getting a salary. And, a lot of people have these dreams. And I'm one of the things I've been trying to tell people, especially Black people, is that there's not going to be, a lot of us hope too much. We sit around hoping we win a lottery or that something happens. Something happens, somebody get rich or something like that. Something happens to take us out of the position that we are in our, everyday life. And that's not realistic. You have to decide now, what is it that you want? Do you want to be working at this job forever? Do you want to be here slaving for this boss and, getting bossed around and ordered around? Or do you want something better for your life? Or are you just content with living, paycheck to paycheck? Now, with education, at least, With a degree, at least you have a chance at a salary. You have a chance at a high paying position, and you have a chance to move up in that corporation, in that company, to be something better, or eventually, possibly open your own business. Your shot at building a wealth begins with education. So I try to tell a lot of people, go to school, get it out the way. Unfortunately, in this society, you have to have that education. If you don't have a skill, if you don't have something you do better than others, you should get that education and learn something, become skilled at something so you can be at that level of success. Now, a lot of people are conscious, and a lot of people want to say, I'm not going to the white man's school and learn the white man's way and this and that, da da da. And, again, it's not being realistic. You got to understand where you're at and what's going on and what it takes to get success, to get to a certain point. Now, not everybody's going to be lucky. Not everybody's going to find a niche market where they can make money. A lot of people is not going to find a position where, they can really build wealth. Everybody's not going to hit the lottery. Everybody's not going to become a major superstar, celebrity, or what have you. So in being realistic, and this is what I'm speaking to, in being realistic, just hear me out. Being realistic, you must have an education. You have to. You got to do it. Because then you have a chance. And who knows, what can happen after that once you have the education. So what I do for a lot of people, what I tell people to do, go back to school. At least get a degree in something like business. I mean, even if you don't want to do a bachelor's, if you just I want to do an associate's degree, go and get like an associate's in business management. So then you can basically work anywhere. You get a degree in business, you can basically work anywhere. You get a job, you start somewhere, you work your way up, and you get to the point where you're making a salary and you get something over 50, 65,000 a year, and you're making good money. Then from there, at least you have established a position to where you are making at least 5 figures a year, or 6 figures. And you establish a position where you're getting good money. So then at least if you want to branch off and do something else to build wealth further away from the company you're working at, you have the means to do so. And you're not just sitting around in church praying and hoping and wishing that something would happen. A job and a career is 2 totally different things. Everybody knows this. But the person who got the career has a shot at building wealth and being, really successful, way more than a person that's getting paid by the hour, where you don't even know your boss's name. You don't know who owns the company. He don't know you. You're not really getting no bonuses. They don't really care about you. You're just another, in and out employee. You're not essential to the company. You're a dime a dozen. You're nobody. And why would you want to give multiple years of your life to work in a position like that? Think about it. So now, even when you look at the numbers, most people without a college degree is making, under $35,000 a year. And we don't even have to crunch the numbers for people, the difference between people with college degrees versus those with just a high school diploma or an equivalent. We don't got to crunch the numbers. They're making tens of thousands more a year, than people without the degree. Now, everybody always kick that, well, it's people with college degrees that don't got no jobs. They're sitting up there unemployed too. People go to college and they ain't got no jobs. Well, put it like this. A person who has a degree, who don't have a job, versus you without no degree, who don't have a job, who is more likely to get a better position? Now, of course, that person with a college degree that doesn't have a job can go and settle for same job as you, 9 to 5 regular hourly job, but they had the potential to do much better. So which one would you rather be? Wouldn't you still rather have the degree? And really, that statistic is really for people who have these oddball degrees. People who, majored in 19th century French poetry, or 19th century art or something like that. You spent years in school to study art, and it's like there's very few jobs that you're going to be eligible for, that you're going to be able to get. Then also, a lot of those positions like that require you to have like a master's or PhD, in those fields like art and everything like that. So you have to be dedicated to going to school a lot longer than 2 years, 4 years, to compete for a position like that. So when a lot of people say, a lot of people with degrees don't have jobs, there be a lot of people who choose jobs like this. It's people that go to school for a long time and end up not even taking a job using a degree. I mean, I'm perfect example is that. I went to law school. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't even take the bar exam. But I finished law school. So a lot of people go to school, and I've been going to school. I've been in school basically my entire life. I'm still in school now. But I'll be finished my PhD this year, in computer science. But a lot of people, we go to school, we don't use the degree, and a lot of people, they don't really necessarily want to be in that field. A lot of people choose these fields and they go to school and then they realize they don't want to do the job. But, you pay for college or you got a student loan and now you basically, you got to figure something out. So, it's really important. And this stuff you learn in like junior high and high school is really important for you to make a plan and really figure out what you want to do. And this is the problem in the Black community, because a lot of us, we don't have that model there to show us, the correct way to go ahead and fulfill success. A lot of us, our notion is go to school, get a job. When you finish high school, you got to work somewhere. You got to do something. And this is what we see. Some people go to college, but they don't finish. And some people, when they finish college, they get a job and they think they made it and they think everything is fine and they're going to be successful. But really, they just like a person without a degree. They're working a job until, they retire. Only difference is they'll retire with a lot more money and probably be a lot better off than the person without the degree. But as I always teach people, you have to eventually, at some point, think about making a move and opening your own company, your own business, and doing something to bring wealth to your family. Not just pass you down a couple dollars, leaving some money in life insurance or what have you, but establishing something as a family that can generate wealth, for your children and their children and so on and so forth. And this is what we have to start doing as Black people. We have to start building wealth, and it begins with building success and having the right attitude and mind frame going forward. Now, some of you are in your late 20s, 30s, or what have you, and a lot of people feel like it's too late to go back to school. It's too late to go back to school. I'm not doing it. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that atmosphere. I don't like to be around it. I mean, not a lot of people like being in school. A lot of people didn't like that. I ate up education. I like learning new stuff. So, I always stayed in school to learn and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't like school. They just don't like being in there and doing that. It's also online classes. Now, your degree won't be accepted on the same par as somebody who actually went to a traditional 4-year college, but you still will have a degree. You still have the paper. So that's an avenue you could take. But you have to make that decision. What is more important, your own, whatever that shit is that don't want you to go to school, or you being successful. Because I say to a lot of people, that's just laziness. It's lazy talk. The same emotion and energy you have to get up and go to that bullshit 9-to-5 job, you should have to get up and get an education that's going to better your life and help you get out of that bullshit 9-to-5 job and get something a lot better. You should have that same kind of motivation. The problem is a lot of us, we as Black people, we don't see instant reward. We don't really want to stay on for the long haul, and that's been our problem over time. Sacrifice. We don't like to sacrifice. You want to see instant reward, instant gratification, instant success, and it doesn't work like that. And a lot of people got to understand that you have to put the time in. You got to put the work in. You got to sacrifice. You got to give up some shit to make it, to get there. And it's going to come down to either you make a decision or you look back 3, 4, 5 years down the line and have regret and say, damn, by this time I would have graduated. By this time I could have had my master's or my bachelor's, versus, where you at that point. Still working 9-to-5, still working for a job that don't appreciate you, and, you're not really making enough money. And, it's not to say that you can't build success at your 9 to 5 job, but a lot of people don't even have the cushion that they need in case something happens with that job. If you depended on your job, your 9 to 5, if you lose that, I mean, that's it. You can't pay bills, you can't pay rent. Then what? So living paycheck to paycheck is risky. It's not even really living. It's gambling, because you lose that job. Then what? A lot of people get the income tax money, they go blow it. And a lot of people don't understand, if they save that money, if they save that income tax money and then build on that. Because what you really want to have, you want to add up all your expenses, your rent, all your bills, everything, all your expenses a month. You want to add them up. And you want to have at least 3 times that in your savings account. You want to have at least 3 times that. So that way, if you lose your job, you got 3 months of expenses in the tuck, to take care of bills until you find another job. Unemployment should kick in. You should get that. And that'll help you relieve the stress of you constantly taking away from that savings. So you have that money there that you can still keep building on. Now, let's say you get your income tax money and you put that in your savings account. Now, once you go back to work, because people act like it's party time. I'm seeing it right now. But people who getting their income tax money, they traveling all over the world, they're doing all kinds of shit. A couple months from now, they're going to be broke. Or sooner. Instead of getting that money and just leaving it in your savings account. Go back to work. Continue to work and save. Now, put money away and build onto that savings until you get to a nice chunk of change where you don't have to worry about money. You can live comfortably knowing that you got a healthy savings. So after a while, if you do it 2 years, 3 years, at least 2 years, I mean, that second year now with that money, you can either save it further or go, enjoy yourself, or put away half and spend half. But a lot of people just blow through income tax money and have nothing to show for it in the next few months. They'll have no savings. I'd be amazed at a lot of people who I know who don't really have savings, who don't really have money put away. And they always use that excuse. I got bills to pay. I need this. Kids need that. But dude, you just got like $4,000, $5,000 in your income tax money. What you do with that? Oh, I bought another car. I bought this big screen. Or I went on a vacation. And then we all use that excuse too. Well, I deserve this. I deserve that vacation. I work hard to get this income tax money. I deserve it. I deserve it. But can you afford it? I'm not doubting that you don't deserve it. Sure, you deserve it. But can you afford it? And this is what you got to think about. Can you really afford to go blow 5 G's, 6 G's on a trip? To do for what? When it's better to save that money or invest it and build it, then when you get it to the correct point, you can take that trip and then come home still having money. Not having to worry about working overtime to make that money back up or what have you. These are the positions that we put ourselves in that I see all the time that we do as black people, because we have not been properly taught how to build success and how to properly invest and save our money. So what I'm trying to say to you in the sense that, America is not fair. Not everybody is going to reach their goals and reach their dreams and be able to fulfill their dreams. The whole American dream is a myth. It's a myth. It's not, we all know this, it's not equal for everybody. Everybody is not going to have the opportunity to have the American dream. And for those who are in a situation where the American dream seems like it's, just a dream, if you're trying to reach that dream, it's going to require a lot of work. And again, a lot of people know that already. And a lot of people look back at their situation and they look at their life and they see the hurdles that they will have to go over and climb and, everything they will have to go through to reach their dream. So what a lot of people do is they settle. A lot of people just settle for being, okay. Or a lot of people say, I'm okay with just being comfortable, And, comfortable is still basically, like rich. Because to be comfortable means that, if you lose your job, you're still fine. Everything doesn't depend on your position, your job. You lose it, well, I got money, I got savings, I have assets. have things that I own. And I tell people all the time, if you get your income tax money and you must spend it, if you want to buy something, if you have to do something like shop, spend money, buy things that are worth money. Buy gold, buy diamonds, buy an expensive watch, an expensive chain, necklace, or what have you. At least you just wearing the money around your neck. You still have the money technically. The price of gold goes up. So does the peace. Buy that. I would rather see people buy that than go buy 10, 20 pairs of Jordans, that you're going to wear. It's stupid. Buy things that you can resell and get back its worth at least, or at least really close to its worth. Buy, something antique that can resell for its value, things like that. Don't just go blow your money on a trip where it's just gone because you feel like you deserve it and you have no savings. And once you take this trip and you spend all this money, when you come home, it ain't going to be much money left. Bills going to be due, rent going to be due, and you're going to be back to the point you was at before you cashed that income tax check or before it got direct deposited into your account. And that's what happens with so many people around income tax time, that a couple months later, they right back where they was before they got the money. And to me, that is ridiculous. How? If you got your hands on 5, 6, 7,000, what are you doing with that money? So you got to understand about investments. So what I tell a lot of people to do, and real estate is like one of the biggest money makers in America. And I tell a lot of people to do this with some of their money, to invest in liens, tax liens. In your state, they have, your sheriff's department has a tax lien auction. And what you can do with a lot of these properties that's on the tax lien list, and I recommend to a lot of people to examine the list. If you know your neighborhood, you know your city well, examine the list. Because homes that have been abandoned, or homes where people have not lived in, for months. Examine that list. So then you can say, well, I know nobody has to live here for a few years. So now with tax liens, what you can do is when you go to that auction and let's say, open and bid for a property, it's around $1,300, $3,000, something like that. You go ahead and put that money down and you win that bid on that property, then, now you become a co-owner of that property. So attached to that home is amount of interest that your money will collect. Whatever your city designates, it'll be interest on that money. So now the true owner, because you're now co-owner of that property, but the true owner has a certain amount of time to pay up the money. Not only does he have to pay up the money that he owes, but he has to pay the money pay you back your money, plus that interest, that percentage of interest. So they might get a certain amount of time to have to pay that money up. So that whole time your money's sitting there is collecting interest. So now after a certain period of time, you can go ahead and file to be sole owner of that property. And then after everything goes through, if it goes right, the person has to come back to collect that property. And if you've been seeing this house for years and nobody has been in there, 9 times out of 10, the owner's not coming. So now you become sole owner of that property. And that property could be worth, you paid $1,300, $3,000, but the house could be worth, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. So you go ahead and fix it, flip it, game over. And when you have an asset like that you're trying to flip for, commercial value, you're trying to be a real estate investor, then now you have something that can be used as collateral for a loan to go ahead and do the construction, to do the whole remodeling of the place to where you can fix it up. Because now you have the property as an asset and you can use it, to get the loan to fix it up, flip it, either rent it out or sell it. This is how you begin to build wealth. And there's a lot of things that people don't know about because, we're simply not taught these things. And a lot of people don't actively go out and try to figure out the best way to invest their money. Now, another way to build money, a lot of people don't understand how pop-up websites work. And you have to understand that you have companies out there that sell their wholesale. When a company has too much, they have overstock or they bought too much wholesale, and they have a lot left over that they need to get rid of, they'll sell it for under wholesale price. And what a lot of people do, including myself, is you can buy a lot of that stuff. And what you do is, if you're computer savvy, you can go ahead and put together a website, put the stuff up for sale, and sell it. Or sell it on eBay, sell it on Craigslist, and make, some money. And you've probably seen it before, pop-up websites. When you see a site pop up, somebody selling Jordans, somebody selling clothes or what have you. A lot of those times, those be pop-up sites that somebody acquired a lot of merchandise, and they'll put a site up to sell either jewelry, sneakers, clothes, or what have you. And you got to watch out for some of those places, because some of them are scams. I tell a lot of people to go ahead and research the email address. the .com. Really research the domains and see how long they've been out. And that's difficult. So you got to look at the reviews, because sometimes when you look at how long one of those companies been out, they could have been out for like a week, but it could be a pop-up site to where they're only going to be selling this stuff until it's gone, and then the site is going to come down. So it doesn't mean it's a scam. It just means they have a limited amount of merchandise that they're going to sell, and then they're going to take the site down. So what you pay attention to is reviews. If they don't have reviews of people talking about the site, saying it's good, and the merchandise was fast and everything, I got everything quick and everything like that, don't mess with it. But that's another good way to invest your money, that you can build money really quick. And it's a lot of little things you can invest your money into, but I always recommend to people to make sure that you got that savings first. And that's like, your back pocket money, I call it. Make sure you got that money in your account. You should, as long as you got that, you sitting on that money, as long as you got that money, you fine. That's the peace of mind you've been looking for. When people say comfortable, that back pocket money is comfortability. And by that, I mean having that 3 times your expenses in your account, in your savings account. Whatever your expenses is going to be for the month, multiply that times 2 times 3. I usually tell people do 3 times 3 months. Multiply that times 3 and make sure you have that in your savings account. So if you spend $5,000 a month, which few people do, but if you know of your bill, let's say you rent $800, $900 a month, then you factor in cable and your phone and food and all that. So you basically spend, let's just say to just blow it up, let's just say you spend $2,000 a month. Some people spend more than that. Let's say you spend $2,000 a month. Then you want to have at least $6,000 saved in your savings account. That way, anything goes wrong, you don't got to call around for a bunch of people for help. You got backup. So this is just the position that you can put yourself in now, easy, fast. To have stability in your life, and to get rid of that doubt and worry, because when you got that kind of anxiety over your head, that worry and doubt, you make poor decisions. You make bad judgment calls with your money. If you staying focused on keeping that money in your account and building on it and saving money, then you tend to make better financial decisions with your money. A lot of people go real antsy, the money burning a hole in their pocket. We all heard that term. And they want to go out and spend because they feel like they need it, they deserve it, or what have you. You got to make sure you got that money saved. You got to make sure that you actively working towards a better position financially in your life, and not just working 9 to 5. In the Black community, we've grown up learning get rich quick. A lot of people, as I said, we want to get money fast, and everybody got their little scams and their little side hustles. And we've been taught to basically respect the hustle. Because you got to respect the hustle. Don't get me wrong, but you don't only have to hustle. You don't only got to be doing fast money, quick money, schemes. You have to really be willing to spend the time to invest into something. And then I tell a lot of people, if you got buddies, you got friends, and y'all all work, y'all all get money, y'all all get income tax, it's very easy for you and your friends, if y'all close, because you know how I go with friends and money, it don't work out. But if you got a close group of friends that y'all cool, and white people do this a lot, we need to start doing it. Put y'all money together, man. If y'all saved a whole year, just regular savings, then around the time you got income tax money, let's say it's about 5 of y'all, you get your income tax money plus the savings you had. You put that money together. Somebody got to have good credit. one of y'all gotta have good credit. But even still, all you guys together will be able to get a loan to either start a business or to either invest in real estate. Now, let's say you guys put your money together and y'all just establish something like 50,000, and y'all want to go into real estate as an investment. Do the business thing and come up with a group or what have you, and go out and start buying properties and fixing them. And it's something that you can do to really build wealth fast. Real estate is the fastest way to build wealth. They keep jumping on the real estate market as if, the real estate is going down, this and that. It's bullshit, I'm telling you. Anybody who's smart enough to understand how this stuff works knows with real estate, it's all about one, having the right property in the right location. And if you can do that, you'll be fine. The thing is with us, with black people, we know people, that need houses. We know people that need apartments. We all know somebody that want to get out their mom house, that want to move or what have you. It benefits you to get a place that you can put a few apartments in there and have them ready, to move people that in there to make money, to build money. Real estate is the fastest way you're going to build wealth, and it's really easy to really get into. We've all heard about this before. There's a lot of real estate get rich quick schemes out there, but you can't knock how fast you can build wealth with real estate. And I try to tell people to get on it because it's something that can change your life if you do it correctly. If you have the right team with you and you choose the correct properties and you do things the correct way. And not just that, it's a lot. Since you got places like you got government assistant programs, you have things like low income housing and stuff like that. Now, if you have a property, let's say with like welfare or low income housing, you could put your home on that list. Only thing that's going to happen is they come out there, they do an inspection, a home inspection, and if the property meets the requirements of welfare or low income housing or what have you, then they'll approve your house to be on the list, and then that's guaranteed government money. So you'll have somebody, they'll have somebody move in there or whatever, and you show them the place, and if they like it, they move in. But that's guaranteed money a month from the government, and a lot of people don't understand. It's so many connections that we already got and things that we know in the hood that we can utilize to build wealth and to really succeed financially in real estate. We live in a lot of neighborhoods where it's a lot of houses that's ran down that have been sitting there for decades. And a lot of people don't know how to go about getting those properties, and tearing them down and rebuilding a new property. It's a lot of things that's coming available for, depending on the state that you live in, for a lot of real estate owners, because, since 2008 when the market basically, went upside down, they came up with a lot of new laws to protect people, and a lot of people qualify for stuff that they don't realize. So this is something I'm really gonna, because I was talking about this in the DVD. If you purchased it, I said I was getting into the real estate market, and then I'm about to start providing low income housing in Philadelphia, where I'm from, for people later on down the line. Once I get everything together and sweet, and this is something I'm going to be doing. So I know the market, I know real estate well. I went to school for it. I'm really knowledgeable in real estate, but it's information I want to pass down to people. Once I start getting into it, I'm gonna walk people step by step through this process and put those videos out. I'm gonna put them out on YouTube to get people to understand how to do this and how to build wealth and how to make money with real estate and other things as well that I have personally put my money into. So either you're going to go to school, educate yourself further, get a better, paying job, a better position than something that's 9 to 5, that's hourly, where you're not really making that much money. And, establish yourself in the company that you work in and work your way up and be successful that way. Be a doctor, be a scientist or what have you. Get into a field where you're going to love the job and you're going to be able to make a lot of money. Or you're going to invest. Even if you just work in a regular 9 to 5 and you didn't go to college, there's ways you can invest. There's ways you can save money, as I was just explaining with income taxes. This is why I was talking about that, because not everybody's going to be able to go to college. Not everybody wants to. But even still, with your regular 9 to 5, you can still save money, put money away, and build money. build wealth. You can figure out ways to invest correctly. A lot of people don't understand how to invest in the stock market, and that's something I'm going to get into later as well in another video, because there's so much to explain, and it's tricks with it, but it's also it's dangerous now more so than ever with the influence of I should just say popular culture, because you can have, depending on the stock that you invest in, you can have it do really, really well based upon just an endorsement, or it can drop, based upon something that the media said, or one of the CEOs or somebody said out their mouth. So stocks is really tricky unless you're getting into penny stocks, and I'm going to talk about that too as well. Penny stocks is a little bit easier. It's not as much money that you can really gain off of it unless you buy a shitload of penny stocks, depending on which penny stock you buy. But you can make money. You still can make money. So this is something I'm gonna get into in a later video. But we're gonna definitely get into that. But I really wanted to just pick you guys' brain about this, because I get a lot of questions, and people always ask me, what do I do with my money, how to invest money, and then probably I start getting a lot of those questions because income tax is coming up. Well, it's already here. And a lot of people want to know what to do with the money. They don't want to blow it. A lot of people are waking up and they're tired of living the same kind of existence and the same pattern. And they want to do something big, something special, something amazing. It's not too late yet. If you haven't spent all your income tax money, sit on it. If you don't got that savings in your account, if you ain't got at least 5,000 saved, like, come on, 5,000. You ain't got 5,000 saved, then you need to be working towards that. Don't put yourself in a position where you got to be begging people, family members, and calling people up and asking for help. Have that money saved and set aside, and then build on that. Sacrifice that vacation. Sacrifice that car if you already got one. Sacrifice whatever you got to sacrifice to build that cushion of 3 months of security, to take care of any bills that might come up, and then still build on that. You'll be amazed, by the end of the year. Like, I'm not going to even hold you. I used to make a game out of it just to see how much I can save. And I would just sacrifice, not do nothing, not buy this. If you can get by and live that way, I know some of you got kids, you can't do that. Of course, take care of your kids. But if you budget it correctly, if you keep a spreadsheet, I know that's nerd talk, but a spreadsheet does help. If you keep a spreadsheet and understand exactly where your money is going, and I challenge you guys to do this. I'm telling you. You want to know, you want to really blow your mind, put together a spreadsheet and just calculate how much money you spend a month. I'm talking about start from the first of the month, right? Everything that you buy, plug into that spreadsheet. Everything. And I'm talking about, I'm not going to say like, piece of bubble gum and stuff like that, but plug in everything, and my number is $5. Everything that's above $5. Under $5, so what? You can just go ahead and mark that. Some people do that, but everything over $5, plug into that spreadsheet and watch how much money you spend. So then you can really know, like, damn, I spend this much money a month. Then you can understand and look at that spreadsheet and say, well, I didn't really need that. I didn't really need that. Well, if I didn't buy this stuff right here, this is how much money I would have had at the end of the month. And these are things you need to do now. Now, a lot of people, we watch too much. This is why I always talk down about hip hop. Y'all watch too many videos. Y'all watch too many things, and y'all trying to ball when you can't ball. You can't be a baller. You can't do what people doing on TV that really got crazy money. A lot of people try to do that too much and not live within their means. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't try. So once you start getting on this path of trying to save that money and, have that little cushion back there, stick with it. Don't go out there and blow the money and cheat yourself, because you only hurting yourself. Don't cheat yourself and go spend money. Save that money up, invest it, do the right thing with it, and begin to build success. And on the road to doing that, you can eventually build wealth if you stick with it, if you're willing to put in the hard work. Now, something that I learned in doing all this is consciousness plays a major role. And, they call it willpower, but consciousness, just being conscious of what you are doing and knowing if you're cheating yourself, or if you, you're being a little, overzealous and, getting a little crazy with your wallet. Be conscious of what you do with your money. Just be conscious of it. What I used to do when I was in the Navy, I used to have a separate account, and I didn't have a card for that account. So what I would do is when I wanted to save, I just went to the bank and deposited. So there's no way I could take it out without the card. So then once you start doing stuff like that and you have to actively go to the bank, to take money out, it kind of stops you. It kind of stops you from actually spending money. It's like, okay, well, I got this money in this account. I don't feel like going all the way to the bank, to do all this stuff or whatever like that. And that money begins to build up. And, then I had an allotment from my one of the jobs I was working at where a certain amount of money a month went into that account. And then it's like, okay, well, now you got this money coming out your check going into this account. You don't never see that money. You know it's going to that account. So you don't see it. It's out of sight, out of mind. It's there. It's building up. But the money you have left over is still enough for you to pay your bills and still go out and have a little fun and buy yourself something or what have you. But you still got that money building up. You do that for a year, income tax time come rolling around, boom. That's a nice chunk of change going into that savings account. And you good. You can sit on that, build on that. A lot of people say life is too short. You got to spend money, Life, you can't take it with you, The rich people are supposed to say that, not poor people. Not people living in poverty. When you're rich and you got a steady supply of money coming in, then you can be like, well, yeah, life's too short. I can just spend it. Because, they can say that because they got crazy money coming in. What you got? You got enough coming in to pay your bills. Then you got a little bit left over that's not going to last you until the next paycheck. So, and I know not everybody gets income tax money. A lot of you guys, some of you people, your money goes to either student loans or your money goes to your children. And it's a lot tougher for you to save money because you're not getting that chunk of change every year to build off. So you have to be even more leaning towards changing your career and getting a better position that pays you more than enough to pay off your student loan and to pay off your child support and build money. That's the route you should be thinking about taking. What kind of job are you in where you're not making enough to pay child support, pay student loan, and save money? It's really tough. I know a lot of cats like that who they get their paycheck, they only got $35. They still hustling. So it suits you. Go to school. At least you get them rebate checks from the government for that. They won't snatch those. And you can build with that. But at the same time, you can work your way up. Stay in school 2 years, 3 years. Get a bachelor's. Some people can get it in 3. Might take you 4. Work your way up. Graduate. Get into a better position where you're making a really good salary. 40, 50, 60, 75,000 a year or something like that. It's not a problem. Pay your bills. You can pay whatever support or student loans you got to pay it off, keep it moving. You have to be realistic. And people get too conscious and everything is the white man. The white man been making so much money off of us for so long. Use the system to your advantage where you can. You can be super proud all you want and be broke for the rest of your life, but you better know how to milk the system to have it benefit you because they damn sure are milking you and having you benefit them. So now I just wanted to really touch base with you guys on this particular subject because when you go ahead and start analyzing, anybody who has ever done the research to try to look into why, it seems like, well, it is true that white America, the wealth gap is so wide. What exactly are they doing? And I talked about this in a previous video, how wealth begins with, the parents. You have that generational wealth that's passed down. We haven't had that. Some black families had that where, life insurance or a family member that may have money, pass down money. But that's very few. We're talking like, 2-3% of African Americans. But where you have, white America have a much larger percent passing down wealth and passing down money and having assets. And they have, private homes and lake houses and beach homes and vacation properties and, vehicles or what have you, stocks and bonds and all kinds of stuff like that they pass down to their children, to their family members. So when you start analyzing, you see these things that happen. And I tell a lot of people, if you got kids, and a lot of people say, well, I want to put some money away for my children. If you get savings bonds, the U.S. savings bonds is the easy way for you to put money away for your child where you can't really cheat it. If you put it to where they can be the sole person to cash in the bonds when they turn 18 or 21 or something like that. You stipulate it, and go buy those bonds, and you have that money coming out of your paycheck, and you can get the little $200 bonds and the $500 bonds, and about the time they turn 18, 21, they be done matured, to the fullest point, and then they be earn so much interest. So when they go ahead and cash it, like who knows how much money they can have around that time, and that's a nice boost of money for college or what have you. And these are the things that white America do that we do not. So I wanted to touch base with you guys on that to get you to understand that it's going to take a much larger effort on your part to become successful, because as I said, this is a competition. They're not just going to pass laws and make things easy for us to become wealthy and to pass them in success and wealth. We have to actively look around and see what we can do ourselves to make money and build success and build wealth. So when you start paying attention to what we are not doing that they are, and the reasons why they're building wealth and we are not, these are the things you got to look towards. And education is a huge one. And I'm sorry to say that, a lot of us are grossly undereducated because we don't take the time or effort to go back to school. And those who do not continue through and graduate. And, this is something, lately I can say, I'm happily to say, you see a lot more people graduating and going to college, but, we got to stick with it. You got to graduate, follow through. And that's why I came back to America, because I started on this PhD program and I stopped doing it because financial problems. And, luckily for me now, I don't really have to worry about money. I'm pretty good. But I came back and wanted to finish my PhD and get it out the way, and it's going to help me, build wealth further. So, this is information I'm really going to be coming out with a lot more, and a lot more things that you can do to invest and spread your money and grow, because we need this. We need to see a lot more black people building wealth and making money, because this is the only way we're going to grow, as a people, as if we start to close that wealth gap and start to get into positions of power and, have the kind of money and the kind of corporations and companies that can control lobbyists to have them, lobby for our best interests. But at the end of the day, it really all comes down to you and the kind of life you're trying to lead and the kind of life you want to leave behind or give, your children, your family members, or what have you. It's up to you. You see where your life is headed. If you sit down now, you stop and think and analyze where you're going to be 10 years from now. If you don't know, you're in trouble. If you're saying you're going to be at the same job or not know if you're going to be at the same job, you're in trouble. If you know you're going to have financial stability, I know everybody can say, well, you don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. Well, yeah, you do. Financially, if you're controlling your money and controlling what you're doing, you should be fine. You're not investing in risky things and putting so much money into it to where it will leave you, penniless. And when you get to that point where you can invest money, overseas, you could do stuff like that to just, have that money where it's not in this economy or in this economic situation to where you can lose money in this economy. It's building money in another country's economy. When you understand how to do these things and understand what to invest money in, down the line, stuff we're going to talk about in other videos. But it's up to you. It's really up to people to either choose to be better and do better and be in a better position in life and stop sitting around watching other people make money and have things and sit around wishing you was them and wishing you had what they had, and get up and actively go out and try to get it. You're not going to have Jay-Z money. You're not going to have, Beyonce money or what have you like that. A lot of work, and they put a lot of work in. You got to put work in. It's just not going to come. I don't care how good you think you is or how, nice you may be and what kind of a heart you may have. It's not just going to fall out of the sky because you wanted to, because you're just sitting around waiting for some shit to happen. I'm just going to sit around and wait for something good to happen. And maybe I hit the lottery, or maybe somebody I know will hit the lottery, or maybe something better will just happen. And while you just waiting for something to happen, waiting, going to work and not really doing nothing to move ahead, time is flying by. Next thing you know, you're in your 40s and you got nothing. You don't even own your house. You're still paying rent. You're still renting an apartment in your 40s. You got to get out of that cycle. We got to get out of this cycle as a people and start building wealth and success. So now I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. This was a quick video I wanted to do and get out to you guys so you can really just think about, what this video entails and understand, you have a responsibility to yourself and, to, your children, if you have any, to do better, to do better in life, to expect more from yourself than what you have. If you are in a position where you're comfortable and you got money and you fine with that, what can you do to get more, to be better, to build more wealth? And, a lot of people say, well, I have enough for me. I have enough for me and mine. And I'm not worried about anybody else. I'm not worried about the future. I'm worried about today. And that's all well and good. You can say that until tomorrow comes. Then what? What do you have? So just think about these things and just really think about your life years from now, where you're going to be, and what you can do now to be in a better position. And I want to touch on a lot more topics. I'm going to come on a lot more videos to stay on this topic because I get a lot of questions. And some people got some money out there and they want to know what to do. And they don't really trust some of the people that's out here and what they're doing with their money. So I really want to get into some things that I know from either personal experience or from experience that friends of mine has had with certain business ventures or what have you. Not trying to get y'all to invest in something and some kind of get rich quick stuff. I'm not going to be pushing nothing like that, but just telling you what's proven and what I can show. So thank you guys for taking the time to watch. See you guys next video.